So I thought these sculptures would be fun to make this week. I know we're all missing that human connection, hugging our friends, our extended family members, or maybe we're wishing we could give a hug to say thank you to our healthcare workers, the people on the front line, our essential workers. I know I would love to give a hug to my Amazon delivery people who are keeping us afloat over here. But since we can't actually physically hug one another, I'm going to show you how to make these little hugging sculptures that look like they have their arms outstretched that you could give to a neighbor or maybe drop off at someone's door as a way to give out a hug during this time that we're apart. So to begin, you're going to need cardboard tubes. So a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll, some glue, and some scissors. You're also going to need a thin cardboard. So I suggest using a cereal box because it's the thinnest cardboard. It's really easy to cut. Any cardboard you have laying around will work, but the thinner the better because you can cut it on your own. So that's the materials that you'll need. To start, you're going to take your tube. If you're using a paper towel tube, you want to cut it in half first. And then it's going to be a little bit bigger than a toilet paper tube, but that's fine. And then you're going to make your animal or your person, you're going to make two cuts. You're going to make a snip on the bottom, and then you're going to make a snip halfway through on the top. I'd say about an inch or half an inch is good. Leave some room. This will be the body. And then you're going to cut that snip in half so that it opens it up. Cut the bottom snip in half too. So that will open it up. Same thing, I'm gonna do it one more time so you can see on the paper towel roll. So I could leave a little bit thicker bottom. So a snip on the bottom about halfway and a snip on the top going about halfway. Remember, don't go all the way and completely take that part off. You just want to stop halfway. Then snip it open. So 4 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then all you have to do is squeeze your tube. That will open up what's going to be the arms, the hugging arms. And then you can take a little bit of glue, squeeze it along the inside, just a little line of glue on the inside there, and then squeeze it shut. So if you have the time, this is a good way to do it because it won't, like, there's nothing there, so you won't see it. The glue works really well, but you'd have to hold this here for about a minute or two until it sets up and it dries. So if you don't have the time, because I'm doing this on a video, I'll show you another option. You can also use hot glue if you have someone who can help you with that. But Elmer's glue works great. You just have to let it sit up. I sometimes will put something heavy on top of it and then work on the face while that's drying. If you don't have the time, because you're making a video and you want it to sit up right away, when you squeeze it, you can even use a stapler and just put one staple right on in the middle. And that is a really easy, quick way to get it to stay. So these are going to be the wide open arms. These are going to be the legs. That gives it something to stand on. Okay, and then with your cardboard or your cereal box, you can cut all the other details. So a good idea is to always draw your shapes first and then cut them out. I actually don't have a pencil with me, so I'm just gonna cut. But if you draw it first, then you know you have it the size you want it, and you can only have to cut once. So all these little details are gonna be cut out of your cardboard paper. So there's my head. Maybe I'll make a bunny. So if you want to make 2 of something, usually I'll tell you in class to fold your paper in half, draw it on the half, and then cut it out, and then you'll have 2, which is a great way to make double or even triple or quadruple of something. But because you're using cardboard, it's a little bit difficult to cut through 2 layers of cardboard unless you have some really good scissors. So if you want, you can just cut one. So I'm making a big bunny ear. I'll cut one out and then I'll place it down on my cardboard using a pencil, trace it, and then cut it out. Again, I don't have a pencil with me, so I'm gonna do it this way, but I would suggest tracing it first because this way, sometimes it shifts and moves and you're not gonna get the same exact shape. So here's my ears, my big bunny ears. If I wanted to make my bunny's mouth, I'll make a smaller circle. Maybe even a little smaller. And then I can glue everything down with my Elmer's glue. So this might be his mouth, maybe some eyes. Now you don't have to cut everything out of cardboard. You can, if you wanted to, just draw those details or paint those details on when you're all done. I like to mix most of it out of cardboard because it gives it a little bit of dimension. It's more 3D. So there's one eye, maybe that will be my other eye. And then the last part is I need a little triangle nose. Okay, so now that I have all of my pieces and parts, I'm gonna use my glue and glue them all on. So first, I'll glue the back of my mouth down to his head. Then the nose, just a dot, not a lot. Less is more when it comes to glue. It's cardboard, it'll stick really easy. You don't need a lot of glue. The more glue you put, the more your pieces will slip and slide around. And the longer it'll take for it to dry too. So there's one eye. Here's another. And then my ears. These are some big old bunny ears. Okay, this is gonna take a little bit to set up and dry. So you need to be patient because if you try to start coloring it or painting it before it dries, it's going to fall apart. My ears are huge. I think I'm gonna make them a little smaller just to fit the proportion of its face a little bit better. And you can always glue your ears on behind if you rather it coming from behind, or even one can be in front and one can be behind. It could look like one's flopping over. That is up to you. And then glue your head to your body. So just a little dot of glue and then let that set up. It's gonna take a couple minutes for this to stick. So I have one here that I started before that is all dried. So now once it's nice and dry and you have all your pieces on, then you can start to decorate. For decorating, you can really use anything. I have watercolor paints, which work great. The only thing you have to be careful is that you want to use more paint than water. Just a little bit of water goes a long way, especially when you're working on cardboard, because if you use too much water, it will get really floppy and it won't hold its shape, and then it won't look like it's trying to give you a hug. So make sure you're not using too much water with the watercolor. I also have these temper cakes, the same exact set that we have in class, except they're just on a tiny scale. So these work really good. If you have acrylic paint, just regular paint works great. Or you don't have to paint it at all. You can use crayons. Crayons work awesome on cardboard. You could use oil pastels if you have that. You can use markers, really anything. So I'm going to show you a video of how I painted my bear. It'll be a little bit faster, so I'm gonna go through that. But really, decorating it is a fun process, so take your time in painting all the different areas, giving the details. You can even use, I painted mine and then after it dried, went back and used Sharpie to put in some of the details like the eyes or some details in my doctor's jacket. So have fun with it. I can't wait to see all the cool projects you come up with. Remember, it could be anything. It could be an animal giving you a hug, like a big bear hug or a bunny hug. It could be a person that you really love and miss that you can't wait to hug, like a grandparent or a cousin or aunt or uncle. It could be a friend at school that you want to give a hug to. You could make a little replica of one of your best friends. Really, the possibilities are endless. My daughter loves princesses, so that's why I made a princess. Can't wait to see what you come up with. You guys are so creative. I know it's going to be great. Have fun.